just before everybody starts, have you noticed anything about the solstice? Is anything kind of, what does the solstice mean to you, other than getting very excited about the longest day? Have you noticed anything in nature? Have you noticed anything around?
Well, yeah,
everything seems very,
oh, sorry.
Sorry, Annie. Everything seems
very abundant at the moment.
very abundant. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Everything's growing, including the weeds.
Oh God, tell me about it, girl. Yeah, and we have a lot of birds nesting. They're nesting everywhere around our house.
Yeah, yeah. Busyness.
Yeah. This year now, my polytunnel on my garden, like, I put in horse manure and I put in seaweed, and it seems to be thriving.
Thriving on the shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I
so
suppose that's what I.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Loads of growth, abundance. Yeah. Sorry, Margot, you were
Yeah,
going to
there
say
are.
something there?
Yeah, no, just as every summer, it's never dark in here in Ireland. Never gets dark. In Spain, it gets dark and there's stars everywhere. Here it's like a little bit dark, and then it's 5 in the morning. Boom, sun is here. So that, like, my family were over here last weekend or the weekend before, and they were like, "What is going on? It's never darkness." They were like,
Mm.
I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess I forget that back at home it gets black beach, black."
Yeah, 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 yeah. There's a lot of light now, and where we are in our longitude, more than our latitude, I think, means that we get, yeah, and the west gets half an hour more light than we do, than the east
No
as
way.
well. Yeah, 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 yeah. So it's quite a difference, really, considering it's such a small country, that you have
Yeah.
that much extra now in the height of summer, that is, not in the depths of winter. But yeah, 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 it's mad. So yeah, so everyone's noticing, you're noticing light, you're noticing abundance, you're noticing lots of growth, a lot of fertility, lots of bird song, lots of energy, lots of busyness around summer solstice. Yeah, and that is the energy of the summer solstice, and that are those are the themes of the summer solstice as well. Like, so it's showing us all the time what the themes are of each of the 8 dates as we go through the Celtic wheel as well. Hi, Ariane, how are you? Lovely to see you.
Sorry, I'm fretting.
No, settle yourself there. Where I know if you were to join and a lot can't make it because of holidays and stuff. So we're recording this call to be available again later on, probably tomorrow morning, I'd say, probably tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, those are the themes of the Celtic wheel. There's many themes, but the main themes are the light, abundance, fertility, growth, and yeah, light and abundance of light as well. So we're going to delve into some of those themes tonight. We're actually going to do quite a lot because the summer solstice is also related to the solar plexus chakra. As you can imagine, the solar plexus is yellow in color, and the sun is at its highest at the moment. So there's a correlation between the two, the solar plexus, and the solar, the sun. So the two are are linked. And at the time the solar plexus is, the summer solstice, it's an opportunity for us to release from the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is a really interesting chakra. We've delved into it before, but I'm going to recap on some of the things. But what we're going to do is do a lot of work around shame. We're going to do a fire ceremony around shame, because shame really blocks us from being our authentic self. And shame is anything from embarrassment, humiliation, being degraded, being dismissed, being judged, being put down. And we've all had experiences of shame in our life as well. And we're going to do a fire ceremony around that. That doesn't mean that we have to delve into the feelings of shame, but we're going to release them through the fire. So you're going to need your candle for that, or you're going to need an outdoor space in order to burn later on. But I'm going to give you time to do that. You don't have to worry about fixing or setting that up now. We're also going to do 2 healing meditations, and we're going to do some reflection as well, as we always do at the time of the Celtic wheel, but it's going to be different this time. We're going to go into what's a really important thing to do with the summer solstice, which is to celebrate. So we're going to be looking at that too, and we're going to have our, as I said, our healing meditations as well. We're going to aim to finish up around about 9 o'clock. Might be a little bit before, might be a little bit after, but we'll have a natural break when it comes to that fire ceremony as well. The second meditation is going to be around meeting your inner child as well, because the solar plexus holds the energy of that inner child, that kind of 4-year-old self down to 2.5-year-old self. And that's where, when we hold, you know, a lot of traumatic experiences, not only from our parents, but teachers starting school. And I'm going to share a story, Sarah's story with you, that really demonstrates how our solar plexus can be affected at that age. And that second meditation is going to help you. It's going to guide you to meet that younger aspect of yourself and to offer her healing as well. So there's a lot involved in the next hour and a half, but as always, feel free to chat away or ask me questions or interject with some of your own experiences or anything that's relevant to tonight and the summer solstice. The recording, for those who are late joining, will be available tomorrow, so you can recap on all of this stuff if you miss it or if you fall asleep for the meditations, which happens quite a lot. But the material will all be there for you as well, and be there for a couple of weeks. So welcome everybody. For those who are on screen, I've welcomed you, and those who are off screen, totally get it. If you need to stay off screen, that's no problem, but welcome Misa and Danielle and Lee and Lisa as well, and all those who are going to be catching up by the recording too. Okay, now let me share my screen and let's get going, because I want to get into this with quite a lot to cover over the course of the next hour and a half. Now, I know all of you are pretty au fait with the Celtic wheel, so I'm going to fly through the first couple of slides, but if you have questions, do let me know. We know the Celtic wheel is a wheel in shape. It's how our ancestors lived. It's how our ancestors here and all throughout the world lived according to this Celtic wheel. They had different names on it, of course. It wasn't called the Celtic wheel. It was called something else, but it had exactly the same dates in it. And it's how our ancestors knew when to sow seeds, when to gather, when to celebrate, when to marry, when to work with the land, and how to work with the land. And so the Celtic wheel is an ancient tool, and it allows us every 8 weeks or so, 6 to 8 weeks, to pause, stop, reflect, kind of just take a breath and just go, okay, where am I now? Recenter ourselves so that we can live a more intentional life, so that we can align with the energy of nature. We can harness it to create the life that we want, but also we can kind of stop ourselves if we're going off in different tangents, if we're doing too much or too little, so we can realign and reset at this time as well, at each of those 8 dates. And as you know, there is directions associated with each of those 8 dates. So the north, as you can see, the north of this, which is the north of the Celtic wheel, it's north according to a compass, that is the winter time. Samhain is seen as Celtic New Year. Interwinter solstice is the time of doing nothing. It's a night time it's related to. It's a time of rest and rejuvenation. East then, which is the time of Imbolc and spring equinox, the element associated with it is air, and it corresponds to the morning time if you map the Celtic wheel onto a day. So stretching out from that winter slumber, it's kind of getting into your body, thinking about what you're going to do for the day. And then before you start moving into the south, which is the time we're in now, Bealtaine was the first signs of summer, and we're right in the height of summer right now. Summer solstice is the epitome of the energy of summer, and its associated element is fire. Hence, we're doing a fire ceremony today. If we map it onto a day, it'd be associated with the afternoon. So it's that busyness, it's that activity, it's that get up and get going and really kind of manifestation. It's everything's bright, everything's supporting you to create your goals and your dreams and your desires. So it's a really magical time of year. Then we come into the west, mapped onto a day. That's the evening time. Associated element is water, and that's Lunasa and autumn equinox as well. And then we come back to north again. So we cycle through all of those directions every single day, every single breath, every single project, every single holiday, every single task, everything. We go through that. But as we go through this on physically with the year that we have, we can really stop and learn about each of these dates, so that when they show up in our life, on a daily basis, we know how to navigate them as well. But also even it gives you so much information about yourself. Like if you don't like north, are you good at resting? Are you good at stopping? Are you good at waiting for the new kind of nudge for a new beginning? Or are you quick to go from north into south? Or do you like spring? Do you like the potentiality of it? Are you good at taking your time going into new things? Or again, do you jump into the afternoon, into the energy of the summer solstice? Same with fire. How are you about fire? How are you about the summer? If you don't like it, maybe you don't like being too much into action, maybe prefer things to be a little bit slower, a little bit more flowy, then that could mean that you're more of an east or a west person. And it teaches you about yourself, so you know where you fall down perhaps. If you jump from, for example, I often jump from north into south. So I'd often get an idea and go, oh God, I have to manifest that now, but don't actually take the steps to create the step-by-step thing to create plan and the map and thinking of all the different factors. And that's the real east energy, the spring energy, to make sure, have I thought of everything? Have I seen everything? Have I talked to people? Have I spent enough time planning before creating in the south? So there's lots of information, and each of the dates correspond to a chakra, and then they correspond to a time in your life. They correspond to obviously the element. There's so many layers underneath each turning of the wheel as well that gives us constantly, you never finish learning it, constantly more information and more information. Okay, so that's where it falls on the Celtic wheel. It's in the south, it's the afternoon energy, it's fire, and it's the height of summer. So to give you just an overview of the summer solstice before we delve into it a little bit more, this is a time, because it's the height of summer, it's a time to shine. It's a time to act and be an individual, and time to daydream. It's a time to be the badass version of yourself. Go after your dreams. Focus on, it's really action, positivity, growth, creativity, and manifestation. The things we've said before. But as we were saying there at the beginning of the call, the weeds are also growing. You know, things are abundant and things are like completely crazy in my garden at the moment. And it can feel like that in our life as well, that there's so much growth, there's so much going on that it feels overwhelming. And so this time is really a time to look at your garden, your outer garden, your inner garden, and go, okay, am I doing too much here? Is there too much growth going on? Am I spreading myself too thin? Like, it's worth even writing down all the things that are going on in your life and saying, okay, where can I pull back my energy here? Or do I need to give my energy to that? Can I pull that back and just channel it into a couple of things? Because if you take the energy of the summer solstice and direct it towards a couple of things in your life, then you're directing that real magical energy of growth, abundance, fertility, and celebration into what your dreams are. And as William Shakespeare said, because he kind of knew these things, whatever is dreamed of on this night will come to pass. So I've shared it in the newsletter today. A lovely thing to do. We don't have time for it today, but what you might like to do in the coming days, because solstice, as you know from the winter solstice, means sun standing still. So we're in the energy for another couple of days after this. But even for the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you want to create a vision board for yourself. And I have it so that it is created around the wheel of life that we all know and we've all worked with before. But to really dream big and pick only a couple of things that you want. Don't pick, hundreds of things that you're not quite sure. Maybe I want that, a new electric toothbrush, or maybe I want that new experience, but you don't really want it. Just put things down there that excite you, that fill you with tingles, that fill you with excitement and joy, and you can't wait for them to come into your life. Like, really dream big with this, and put a couple of things on your manifestation board. And in that link I sent on the newsletter today, there is a link back to the Soul Seekers from about 1.5 years ago that goes through that vision board kind of workshop. I think it's about an hour long, and there's a meditation involved in there as well. So if you want to do that, or do your own manifestation board, feel free to do that yourself. You all know how to do it. But it's really, really important. Don't put loads out there. Really watch where your energy is going. You don't want to grow weeds. You want to be growing 1 or 2 or 3 things, and really focusing your energy on that, because whatever you put your energy on, it's going to start coming. It's going to start manifesting. It is interestingly a time where a lot of people get sick because of that over energy, because of the extra light. Everyone, in winter time, I always laugh. Oh, once it's dark, I'm not going out. I'm closing the curtains and that's it. And that could be 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, I'm getting ready for bed nearly at that time. And Annie, you're nodding, so I'm guessing you're the same as me. But suddenly now we've all this light until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. All I can say is thank God for blackout blinds, because I still go to bed at my very early time. But we feel the need, and we're more compelled, of course, to go outside and to do things from after dinner time. We might go for a walk, we might sit in the garden, we might find ourselves doing things even about the house. So we're expending more energy, and we need to be mindful of that again, and just not doing too much, being busy for the sake of being busy, or just chasing your tail, thinking you have to get everything done. Again, just watch where your energy is going. It's really important. A lovely question to ask yourself at that time. What brings you joy? Creating, and we did this last year at the Soul Seekers on this particular, on the summer solstice, is to create a joy list. And that really feeds you at that time, and really feeds that solar plexus as well. And that could be anything from, standing, or as you experienced today, Annie, going to a place and just sitting and breathing and leaving an offering for the ancestors. Or it might be that you enjoy going for a massage or getting your nails done or ringing somebody in particular. But it's nice that joy list can be really lovely way of really fueling the solar plexus as well. Okay, all of that okay so far? Any questions? I think we're okay. Right, we're going to do our meditation first, and then we're going to go into our reflection. So I'm going to ask you all to get really comfy, and let's put on some music. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, I'm just going to mute everybody. Make sure you're all unmuted. I put on the music. Okay, this meditation is just to help us to arrive, be in this space. I'm going to call on the directions. You might hear the background. I've got a rattle here that I'm going to rattle for all of us to call in the energies of each of the directions. You might hear the rattle, or you might not hear the rattle because of headphones on too. So if you hear that background noise, you know what it is. Excuse me. Okay, hopefully you can hear the music and hear me. If you can't, do let me know. Making yourself comfortable wherever you are. Hands on your lap with your palms either facing up or facing down. And if they're facing up, just have them up as they're facing towards the sun. Even though you might be indoors, you're energetically placing them up towards the sun, physically. So as we open sacred space, we call upon each of the directions, and I'll do that for us, for all of us. You might feel different sensations, different pulls and tugs as these energies enter our circle this evening. And in opening sacred space, it adds some magic and sparkle to the healing work that we're going to do, to the fire ceremony, to the meditations. So it adds that extra dimension. It also helps us all together in a sacred space, sacred virtual online space. First we call on the north. Energies of the north, come to us, come to our circle this evening, our virtual circle. Energies of the north, time of winter, teachings of rest and renewal, element of earth. We ask you, north, to help us to truly rest this evening, to fill up our cup, while also celebrating this magical time. We call upon the element of earth to ground us within our physical bodies, to help us to come home to our body, to ourselves, To make the journey from the head down into the feet, the knees, hips, the belly and the heart. Call upon the deities of the north. Call upon Ankalyak, the grandmother. Please hold space for us and help us release the shame that binds us. To release any blocks that we might be holding consciously or subconsciously in our solar plexus, so that we can shine, so that we can be seen, so that we can live our authentic lives. We turn to the east. Call upon the energy of the east, element of air, sacred air. You can be so still and so powerful. And through our own breath, may we invite you deep within our bodies, deep within our souls. May we connect to our breath as the bridge between the mind and the body. May we release with our exhale those old emotions, those old experiences. Call upon the goddess of the east, Bridget. Please place your healing cloak around each and every one of us, individually and collectively. Your healing protective cloak, wrapping around our shoulders. We ask you, Bridget, to place your hand on our solar plexus and to ignite the fire within there. We call upon the animals of the east, the eagle, and the otter. Teach us how to have an eagle eye point of view, to see things from the different perspective, to be intentional with our energy, and to rest when we don't need to do. Call upon the otter, you who live between both worlds, both dimensions. Teach us how to play, have fun and celebrate. We call upon the south, energy of the south comes to us. Call upon the energies of the summer solstice, element of fire. Time of summer, solstice and Bealtaine, element of fire. Time of abundance, fertility, action, growth, celebration. We ask you, summer solstice, to fill us with your light, to illuminate what we need to see this evening as we move through our rituals and our meditations. Help us to see with the eyes of compassion. Help us to understand and release, so that we may shine. Shine in our power, in our light, in who we are. We call upon the snake, you who never lose contact with Mother Earth. May we remain connected to Mother Earth so that we can shed our skins, knowing that sometimes as we let go, there's a place of vulnerability while we're waiting for our new skin to form and to harden. So help us to lean into vulnerability and to trust this process, to be guided by our inner light, today and always. We turn to the west. We call upon the energies of the west. Energies of the west come to us. Element of water. Call upon the healing waters of life. Wash through us. cleanse us. It's like a normal shower would. Flow through us, healing waters of life, washing through each chakra as you flow through us, bringing balance to our emotions and our emotional body, releasing into Mother Earth and her belly. Call upon the teachings of the West, destiny, ecstasy, stargazing. And we call upon you, dear West, to help us to align with our destiny as we shed, as we embrace the light this evening. May we experience joy, ecstasy, light. This is our birthright. We call upon the animals of the West, stag and the doe. Balance of the inner masculine and inner feminine, compassion and love. And we call upon little fox, helping us to find the shortest road home. When we found our way a little bit lost, we want to come back. Fox, show us the way. Show us the way back to our heart. Your awareness now under your knee, under your feet, as we call upon Mother Earth. Mother Earth, come to us. Feeling the support of Mother Earth underneath you, our Voher, our Mother, Panchamala, Gaia, the Mother. See yourself opening your chakras at the bottom of your feet and connecting to her support, her growth, her abundance, and inviting the energies of Mother Earth and all that she's going through at this time into your body. So breathing it in, drawing it up your body on the in-breath, up to the top of your head, and as you breathe out, letting any old emotions, anything else that's going on for you, just blow out your feet into Mother Earth. So breathing in, drawing in the abundance, the growth, fertility, potential of Mother Earth into your body through each chakra, through the root, through the sacral, through the solar, through the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown. And as you breathe out, so releasing from the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar, the sacral, the root, and out the feet. 3 breaths here, drawing on the energy of Mother Earth, and the summer solstice, up through your body on the in-breath, down and out through the out-breath. Call upon you, Mother Earth. We thank you for our abundance. Thank you for your unwavering support. Thank you for the home in which we get to live. Thank you for the food on the table. Thank you for the security and safety you provide. Call upon the stone people, the tree people who walk upon you, 2-legged, 4-legged, 6-legged, many-legged. Help us to come back home to our bodies, to let go of the mind and let the body breathe, let the heart open. As we give permission to the heart to speak this evening, to guide us, to show us what needs to be seen, what needs tending to, what needs releasing. And checking in with your heart, smiling into your heart, a physical smile, directing that smile down into your heart and feeling your heart smiling back at you. You ask your heart, how are you today? And you listen for the answer. And it'll be a loving answer. It'll be a simple answer. Anything else is just the noise of the head. So keep asking until you find your answer. How am I today? How is my heart today? And from your heart now, looking up to Father Sky, call upon all that is above. Father Sky and Grandmother Moon, Grandfather Sun. All that is above you, above us, above me, above all of us. We call upon you to be in our circle. Call the guidance of Grandmother Moon, the energy of Father Sun, your power, your potential, your vitality, protection. Call upon all that is above, the teachers, angels, archangels, guides from beyond, all who work in the light. Bringing your awareness to your body now as you sit in the middle of this sacred circle. The north of the east, the south and the west of Mother Earth and Father Sky. Feeling the protection and safety, feeling their presence around you. And I invite you to place your hand on your heart and call upon any guides you wish to call upon. Perhaps ancestors or pets, friends, or archangels or angels, wherever it feels like they want to be here for you this evening. I invite you to call upon them now or not if that doesn't feel appropriate for you right now. And then with your hand in your heart, just feel into the movement of the heart underneath your fingertips. The beating of your heart. Giving thanks for the life that's here. Giving thanks for the life that's here. The life that's moving through you. And then you can relax your hand back onto your lap. Taking a couple of deep breaths. Gently moving your body. At the end of the third breath, you can start to bring your awareness back into the space once more. But knowing that throughout this evening, until we close down, you were held in that sacred space. You were held by the directions by Mother Earth, Father Sky. Coming back, opening your eyes whenever you're ready. So if you're around, if you're back awake from that meditation, from calling in the directions, you will need a pen and paper now. One of the themes of summer solstice is celebration. And I thought it would be a lovely thing to do is to put pen to paper and to consider from now until the 1st of January, or maybe back to Celtic New Year, which was Samhain, 7th of November, to write down all that you've accomplished, all the wins, small wins, the big wins, all the things that you've broken through, all the changes that you've made, all the good things that have happened. Because a big part of the summer solstice, as you can imagine, why all the festivities are on now and all the different, Glastonbury is on this weekend, and all of those festivals were all as a mark to the summer solstice, because it was celebration, it was giving thanks. It was, like Annie said at the beginning as well, just being full of gratitude. I don't know if any of you felt that today. There's a real air of gratitude in the air. And so it's a lovely thing to do, is to stop and to celebrate and to say well done to yourself, that for all the things that I've done this year, and to really to really note them and to mark them by putting pen to paper, because we often don't really pay any heed to the things that we've done. We're more focused on the things that we haven't done and all the things that have gone wrong. So instead, I invite you to really focus on, and I've got the 8 pies of the wheel of the wheel of life here. Health section, anything that you did, anything you gave up, anything that you stopped doing in the health section. Or in the wealth section, perhaps there was something that you were really worried about in terms of your wealth 6 months ago or 4 months ago, but now doesn't seem to be as much of a problem. Or maybe you got yourself out of something where wealth was concerned, or maybe you're feeling more secure in your wealth area of your wheel. In your family and friends, maybe you made some transformations there. Maybe you moved away from somebody that doesn't suit your energy, or maybe you made new connections, or maybe you put yourself out there when you were away, or maybe you went to something on your own and you wouldn't normally do that. I'm just giving you prompts here as we go through the pie. In play, hobbies, fun, again, maybe you tried something new there. Maybe you gave yourself permission to have fun when on a playground, or maybe you again said yes to something you wouldn't normally say yes to. In your significant other romance, is there anything you celebrated there? Maybe you said no to somebody, maybe you said yes to somebody, maybe you chose yourself over a relationship that wasn't working for you, or maybe you spoke up within your relationship. In a career, maybe you made some changes there, maybe you had a conversation, or you made a big change or a small change, or you managed to create something for yourself. And your environment, where you're living, where you're working, but mostly the environment is where you're living. Clutter clearing, that's an accomplishment. Or changing where you were living, or changing flatmates or roommates, or loads of different things that you could be doing in your environment. And personal growth then is all this work as well. You know, maybe you've got a regular meditation practice, or perhaps you are taking better care of yourself with your self-care. You know, so when you drill down to each of these pies of the wheel, you'll find that there's probably loads of things more that you're doing or you have done in the last 6 months than you thought you did. And so this is an exercise in really expanding your light, because you're acknowledging all, and it really fills up your power center as well, because it fills you up. Gosh, great, I did loads. Let me give you some time to finish that off. And take your time with this. I really want you to think about it, because on first looking at something like this, you can go, oh, I didn't really accomplish anything. I'm still this, or I'm still that, or these things are still the same. But when you stop and as I mentioned, drill down into something, you can actually see the small things. And life is made up of the small things. It's very seldom the big things. It's more often the everyday things that kind of are the dots that join things together that lead to some sort of transformation and change. And if anyone has a celebration list or accomplishment list that they'd like to share, I'd always love to hear it if you feel comfortable to do so. If anyone's finished, you can put a thumbs up in your little box so that I know that you're finished. And if you are finished, if you'd like to say anything or share, as I mentioned, share what's on your list or some of what's on your list or how you found that, it would be lovely. Thanks, Marga. But please take your time with this. It's not about rushing through it. It's about giving yourself the space to write it down. Marga.
I am driving better than before, and I have my exam on Monday. I have achieved that I'm driving like I think I already know how to drive.
Wonderful.
So I'm confident in my driving ability. So fingers crossed for Monday, guys. Fingers crossed. Give me all good vibes.
Yes, we will. What time on Monday, Marga?
9:15.
9:15, early in the morning. Good. At least you're not hanging around waiting for it.
Yeah, that's it. So that's one of my biggest achievements in life, except quitting smoking as well. That was huge.
That's
because
pretty
I had
big.
a massive blockage of driving. I always thought that the man in my life will teach me how to drive, or my father, or my husband, and it just hasn't happened that way. And I feel good that I can do it. Well, I mean, trust me, there has been a lot of people helping me how to, but it has the man of in my life, let's say. And I'm happy for that. I'm happy that I broke that blockage that I had for years and years. And I'm doing it by myself, kind of.
Wonderful, Marga. That's multi-layered then.
Yeah, it's very layered. If you feel the layer. I'm 42 and I'm just learning how to drive now. So
great. And sometimes it's harder the older that you are, you can leave things as you say, but you didn't, and you did it, and you will do it.
Well, fingers crossed for Monday, I'll let you know.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Marga. Yes, we'll all be sending you positive energy on Monday. Great. Anybody want to say anything? I think everybody's more or less done, are they? No, Misa, you've said yes. Annie and Lee and Marga. Annie, sorry. You're off chat. You're off mute.
Yes, I've been working on my guilt. Because obviously I retired early, but there was always the devil on my shoulder saying, "You should be back at work. You're not 66. Go back to work." Um, but I think I call it coming to terms with it, that I don't have to go back to work. It's just taken me a long time to accept it and not feel guilty about it. So it means that I've had more time for self-care rather than doing, going. So I'm happy that I've kind of controlled the guilty fell on my shoulder, but it's a work in progress.
Sounds like you've peeled back a few layers there.
Yes,
You've let go of a lot.
yes, I sure have. Yeah, and I can feel a lightness about myself for it. I'm happy inside.
Mm. And that's the thing, as we
And the
let
summer,
go, guilt and shame that we hold
yeah,
in the solar plexus, joy is automatically there. It's not that we
yeah,
need to fill it with joy, it's just joy is underneath it, and that kind of shame and guilt just blocks it. And then as we let it go, then there's more light that's allowed to be expressed within us. So we naturally, automatically, as you said, begin to feel happier.
yeah. And I have a simpler life, but it's
Mm.
bringing me more joy, like less
Mm.
stuff in it, but things that are more meaningful to me.
Yeah. So Marie Kondo said the same thing.
There you go. It took me 63 years to see the light.
Great that you saw it. Oh, great.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I think everyone's finished. If anyone isn't, can they let me know? Everyone's That's everyone. Yeah, that's everyone. Brilliant. Okay, well done. You might want to expand that list over the next couple of days. So this isn't just a one thing and that's it. Do have it there, and you might think of things over the next couple of days going, oh, I did that and I did that and did that. And the more that you can put on this list, the better. And leave it somewhere that you're going to read a lot, but maybe perhaps beside your bed. And in the times that you're feeling down, you feel like nothing's really changing, just go back and look at that, and it gives you motivation to go, God, I did all these things and all these things happened and I didn't even realize, the effort that I was putting in, or how they just resolve themselves, or whatever. Okay, great. So we have that. That's a really important part of the solar plexus. And what I wanted to do is to do a fire ceremony around the solar plexus. So the celebration really helps to expand the light within us. And what you might want to do is put on a bit of music and to dance that celebration. That really helps to embody that feeling within you. Read your list and then just put on one song that really gets you moving. That could be a lovely thing to do, but just even in itself, having that list is really lovely to have it there. So well done for that. The emotion that's held in the solar plexus is shame. Shame and guilt are the two together. Now, the solar plexus, as I mentioned, it's the one just below the breastbone, and you all know it. It's the one that's connected with light. It's yellow in color. It is about personal power, warrior energy, joy, standing in your power, being your authentic self. And we want to let go of shame. Shame is such a lower based emotion. And there's a lovely quote that says, shame is the lie someone told you about yourself. And we all have shame within us. And this isn't about blaming or shaming somebody who said something to us when we were a child, but it's about recognizing that shame is put on us, or we feel shame nearly on a daily basis. If somebody makes us feel uncomfortable, or if we get embarrassed, or we feel dismissed or judged in some way, or we judge ourselves, that's an aspect of shame. And so every day people are shaming, we are being shamed, we are shaming other people, and it's not coming from a bad place. It's just we don't understand, and we don't know how to be another way, and we don't actually, people are calling it now and calling it that's shaming me, so the language is changing around it. But you might have experienced, if you think back when the solar plexus was first forming, which was 18 months to 4 years, what that was like for you. And that will inform you a lot about how you are, but standing in your power now, having boundaries, allowing your light to shine. Is if you experience shame back when you were 1.5 years, to 4 years of age, in and around that time frame. Now, most of us aren't going to remember a lot of our experiences around then, but you might remember your first day at school. You might remember what it would feel like, what it felt like in school when you had to conform. Were you shamed by the teacher? Were you shamed by your peers? Maybe you were shamed by your parents. So there's a lot going on at that time that could have easily really infused that solar plexus with a lot of shame. And I have a story about Sarah that really kind of depicts, and this is based on a real person, and it might just trigger something for you that we're going to use because we're going to do a fire ceremony now in a minute, all around shame, and giving you permission to let go of that shame. You've given yourself permission to let go of any shame that you're holding in the solar plexus. But let me tell you a story of Sarah, because it might trigger something for you. So there was a girl called Sarah. She's a beautiful little girl, and she had a wild imagination and a wonderful wit. She lived in her daydreams. She concocted all sorts of wonderful images and stories in her mind, and she was a very happy little girl. One day she was sent to school, and she found that not everyone had the same imagination that she did. She began to feel like an outsider. When she reached first class, she had a teacher that was particularly stressed and strict. Miss Lyons was under-resourced and had a lot going on at home. She needed these kids to follow the rules and listen in class and to be quiet. She wanted them to conform. Sarah found it difficult to be in this environment and took to going into her imaginary world more and more. One day, little Sarah was so immersed in this place that she missed everything the teacher was saying. All she heard was, "Sarah, Sarah, what did I just say?" "I don't know, miss." Miss Lyons then said, "Spell Madra." "What?" said Sarah. "The Irish for dog," said Miss Lyons. Sarah emmed and awed, and she drew a blank. The whole class started laughing at her, and the teacher was disgusted. She angrily instructed her to go to junior infants and inform them she didn't know how to spell dog in Irish. Humiliation with burning cheeks, Sarah did as she was told and then ran crying to her big sister in 6th class. That day, Sarah lost her power and believed that she was stupid for many years, until one day she took back her power. How many stories have you heard like this? Perhaps something like this happened to you. People consciously and unconsciously take our power all the time. How many people have taken away your power, or have given you your power, or you have given your power to? Work, present, past relationships with your siblings or parents, friends or peer. Sometimes it comes back to you naturally as you heal and forgive, and sometimes you need to ask for it back. So as we release shame, it brings in forgiveness, joy, and it helps us to restore our power within us. So what I do invite you to do is to, part of our fire ceremony, to take a piece of paper now, any size that you want, and write down, "I release shame and subconscious blocks that may now be holding me back from living my life to the fullest." You might want to have that as a spider diagram with shame, embarrassment, humiliation, or any of the other emotions that were in the other one. Cheapen, degrade, dismiss, embarrassment. You can use those as a trigger if you want to help you. But even just writing that intention, "I release shame and subconscious blocks that may now be holding me back from living my life to the fullest." You have specific instances of shame in which you were shamed or ashamed, or that you're embarrassed or guilt feel embarrassed about. Memories, you can put them all on the piece of paper. Then when you have that done, you're going to do the second piece of paper as well, but in a few moments you're going to have 2 pieces of paper, and you're going to go outside, or you're going to go to your fire ceremony place. And when you've done this first piece of paper, you're going to blow your feelings of shame into the piece of paper. So somewhere in your body, generally in that solar plexus, you're holding that shame. So what I want you to do is imagine that the shame that you're holding, you might be able to connect with it physically or not able to connect with it. It doesn't matter. It's your intention that's important. You're going to blow your shame 3 times. It's like you're stopping for a moment. You're asking your body, right, wherever I'm holding shame in my body, ask it to come up with my out breath. I'm blowing it into the piece of paper. Then you're going to put the piece of paper into the fire. Again, as you all know, watch how it burns and your reaction to it. see how quickly it goes, all that kind of stuff. That's all information for you. Then the second piece of paper, you're going to write, I call my power back to me now. I am whole and I am complete. Okay. Then you're going to blow your breath into this to energize this intention 3 times. So when you're blowing into this one, because this is what you want to move towards, you're blowing a breath of joy, you're blowing a breath of power, because power is what's held in the solar plexus. So you imagine blowing power into, and the energy of who you are into that piece of paper 3 times. And again, place it in the fire and watch how it burns. So the process is exactly the same, but the intentions are different. The second piece of paper, you want to take the smoke and you want to scoop it into your solar plexus. Now we normally do a sacral. So remember, solar plexus, scoop into your heart and scoop into your third eye. I'm going to leave these instructions up for you so you can refer to it, or you can take your device out with you as you're doing this. But it's pretty similar to what we've done before. First piece of paper, I release shame and subconscious blocks that may be now holding me back from living my life to the fullest. Any other memories, anything else that you want to put in there around shame, blow shame into the piece of paper 3 times, put it in the fire. Then you take your second piece of paper, I call my power back to me now. I am whole and I am complete. Blow your breath to energize your breath of power into the piece of paper 3 times. Place it in the fire and then scoop the smoke from the fire into the solar plexus, the heart, and the third eye. Okay? So let me give you some time to do that. It is now, I don't know what time it is. And let's see. It is 8:30. So let's take a good 8 minutes to do this. So we'll just come back at 8:38. If that's okay. And then we have plenty of time for our final meditation. Okay. I think you all know what you're doing anyway. Done this before. I'll leave this up here anyway, and I'll see you all in about 8 minutes or so. Great. Welcome back. How was your fire ceremonies? I love that quote. It's Dr. Steve Maraboli. Start shaping your own day, start walking your own path. This journey is yours. Take charge of it. Stop giving other people the power to shape your life. Kind of says it all. We have everyone back. If people who are off camera could let me know that they're back with a thumbs up or something in their box, that would be great. And if anyone again wants to say anything about their fire ceremony, if they enjoyed it or anything that came up for them. I loved that mantra. I call my power back to me now. I am whole and I am complete. That's a beautiful mantra. We give away our power all the time, don't we? Nice one. So Monica, thank you. And Lee, thank you. Great, I know you're there. And Lisa and Lisa and Danielle. Annie, are you off mute?
I am.
Uh-huh.
Well, it was interesting. Obviously the first piece of paper that I burned was what you want to release, and only half it burned. And I took that was something I'll have to work more on. But at least half it was gone, so not too bad. And then I just lit it again, and no, you're going. And then yeah, I know on the second piece, everything burnt except the word me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was like a hill going over the word me. You know, for my power to come back to me, like,
Yeah, yeah.
I go, wow. You know, and then it slowly did burn, but it was there for a few minutes, like a hill just over it. I went, wow. But yeah, no, it was very powerful, very, very powerful.
And what does that kind of mean for you? What's that teaching you, do you think?
Yeah, to come back to the real me, I need to let go of all that shame and guilt, and yes, I'm a work in progress.
Love us, love us. Thank you, Annie. Thank you. So great to hear your experiences. It's so to hear everybody's experiences, because or to hear anybody who wants to share their experience, because it really helps other people as well. Because oftentimes we can just put things into the fire and think, oh yeah, it's gone. And it's not, it's transforming our relationship to whatever it is that we put in the fire. And it can take, like we're saying tonight, you know, layers, and it can take a little bit of time as we work through stuff as well. It's not just put it in and it's gone. And it can be because we can hold ancestral shame. We can hold a lot of shame ourselves, even collectively as a nation, culturally. We hold a lot of shame as well. Who are you to think you can do X, Y, and Z? You know, so it's complicated, and it's not as simple as just putting it in a fire and being gone with it. But it is as simple as putting in the fire and being able to lighten that energy within us so that we can step more automatically. As we said, joy, power, and light is there within you. It's just these little things that are just little chips that are needing to be taken off. Okay, unless anybody wants to say anything about their fire ceremony. Yeah, Lee, doesn't it? I know Lee is saying in the chat, it feels very powerful to burn old beliefs. It's something so lovely about ritual like that. When we're putting something in fire, we're using any of the elements to do something. I feel like we're more present. Obviously, we need to be a bit more present with fire anyway, because it'll burn you if you're not. But you are really engaged more with the process. When you're using the elements, I feel, whether it's earth or air or fire or water, but to put things and to see them going up in flames really helps us intellectually and energetically to change our relationship to whatever we're putting into the fire. And why we're putting the second piece in the fire, I call my power back to me now, I'm whole and I'm complete, is to release any blocks that we have around stepping into our power. And our power is the power of fire, power of light, power of love as well. So that's why we put that into the fire. I think you all know that. I think you've all done this before. Okay. Great. Just see if anybody. Ariane.
Yeah, hi. When I wrote the first phrase, I wrote it in my normal writing size. Okay. And then when I wrote the second one, the letters were really big. It took a lot of space, like, yeah. And then when I burned the first one, it nearly completely burned, but not a lot of smoke. And then the second one didn't burn completely, lots of smoke. And there were two words that were left, not burned. It was my life, it said.
Wow. Bit like Annie then with your words.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, my life. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, my life. My life is changing a lot at the moment. In the last 6 months, really. Yeah, since the beginning of the year, my life has changed a lot on all levels, and it's continuing to change. Don't know where that's going to bring me, but I am not a. I think I've learned during my 6-8 weeks without walking, doing anything, at the time in my life where it should have been, really busy, hectic, and stressful. Well, I was doing nothing because I couldn't. And so I think I learned to let go of things that I have no control of and go with the flow. And that's kind of new for me at nearly 60 years old, you learn every day. And so, as Annie says, a work in progress, really.
Gorgeous. Thank you, Ariane. Thank you. Yeah, and you all might want to do that fire ceremony, again over the coming days, because as I said earlier, we're still in the energy of the fires at the summer solstice. And again, even any time, this is a good exercise to do, or to use that your mantra, I call my power back to me now, I am whole and I'm complete. Because, when you think of relationships, you think of past bosses, you think about past friendships, you think about all the places that we give our power away to call your power back to you as a mantra, as an intention, is a really, really lovely thing to do, to fill yourself back up again. Not that it's depleted, but to bring that energy back. Okay, now let's go into our second meditation, our last meditation, which is based on meeting your inner child. But before we do that, this is what I was talking about earlier, this manifestation chart. And again, it's in the link that I sent to the newsletter. If you don't have it, let me know. This is a separate extra exercise if you want to do it. Great time to do a vision board using the wheel. And then what you can do is place it outside under the sunlight or under the moonlight, and ask the stars to sprinkle your dreams with the magic of the summer solstice. Or for those of you who are in the summer solstice, in the Soul Seekers, back when we created a solar plexus stone, and you remember what stone that was, it'd be great to put that out in the sunshine or under the light or under the moon and the stars tonight either, and ask it to be charged again with the energy of the summer solstice, or any of the stones that we had, but particularly the solar plexus stone that we created, which is all around empowerment and taking action. Okay, but that's that's an optional. It's only if you want to do a manifestation board. And if you need more information, do contact me. Okay, we're more than enough just to do our next meditation. We're going to wrap up after that. And let's share sound. Okay, we are okay. So let's get back into our meditation space. You can close, as in turn off your camera if you want, just make sure you're on silent. We're going to do this meditation. We're going to wrap up fairly quickly after this. We've covered a lot this evening from when we met nearly an hour and a half ago. We're talking about the summer solstice, talking about the light, the fertility, the energy, the vitality at this time, being busy for the sake of being busy, being intentional about where we put our energy and what we put our energy on, and calling on the directions, asking the north and the east and south and the west and Mother Earth and Father Sky to be around us. So find yourself back into that space again and know that you're held. You're held by all of the energies that we called upon this evening. All of the deities. And find your way back down to your heart. If you wish, again, smiling into your heart, feeling your heart smiling back. And then gently bringing your awareness down into that center. And placing one hand gently on your heart, the other hand gently on your solar plexus. And on the in-breath, sending love from your heart to your solar plexus. And from your out-breath, from your solar plexus to your heart. Heart, solar plexus on the in-breath. Solar plexus, heart on the out-breath. Just awakening these chakras and opening up the dialogue between these two energy centers. And informing these chakras of all of your accomplishments. Reminding yourself of your celebration list. And letting those accomplishments feed into the solar plexus. Now that there's extra space there after your fire ceremony. You might like to see it as a yellow energy traveling from your heart to solar plexus in the in-breath. Solar plexus to heart in the out-breath. In a few moments, you're going to travel to a place. You're going to find yourself in a beautiful, beautiful area in nature. And this is a very safe place. It's abundant. It's full of fertility and joy and light. Nature is in full bloom. The birds are singing. Flowers are out. There's a busyness in the air. And you see that there's a house here. A small little house. A very pretty house. Asking yourself, what is it made of? What does it look like? You notice the windows and the doors. Perhaps there's flowers around it. Take it all in. Around the house there is a gate. And you make your way to the gate, gently opening it. You walk up the garden path to stand in front of the door. What's the door made of? What color is it? You knock on the door and you hear a rustle, things moving on the other side. The latch is opened and the door opens in front of you. And you see there a little girl, and she is you. How is she dressed? What color are her shoes? What age is she? Tell her that you are here from the future and that you know better than anyone else what she's been through. Her suffering, her abandonment, her shame. You tell her that you love her and you will look after her. You open your arms. She smiles and she runs into them. You wrap her up, cradling her. You find a seat. And as you hold her so gently in your arms, you send love from your heart and your solar plexus into her, comforting her, loving her. You ask her if she's willing to come home with you. If she's willing to leave this place and come back with you. And she might wish to stay, and that's okay. Or she might be ready to come back with you. As you reassure her that you are older now and that you can protect her and help her and mind her, and that you would love her to come home with you so that she can be joyful, playful, all the things that she was. She may have lost along the way. If she's still not ready to come back with you, that's okay. Tell her that you'll be waiting for her. You'll come back another time, perhaps. But if she's willing, you take her by the hand. Stand up from your seat and you start walking away. Walking down the garden path, past the gate. You turn the corner and you see an animal there waiting for you. You tell this animal, this power animal, this guide, about your little girl and what's just happened. And that the two of you are going home together. Your guide jumps for joy and smiles, and the three of you dance and celebrate. Your child jumps into your arms, and you say, "Welcome home, little one." Welcome home, little one. Welcome home. We thank the north, element of earth, time of winter, the salmon, the wren, and the wolf. We thank you, Kayak, for holding space for us this evening. We ask the element of earth in the north to integrate this little girl, her healing within us. Help us to release over the coming days to Mother Earth anything else that's ready to let go around shame, embarrassment, humiliation, guilt. Thank you, North. We thank the East. We thank Bridget for igniting our solar plexus, for helping us. We thank you for placing your cloak over our shoulders individually and collectively. We thank the element of air that with our breath we release to the fire. With our breath we let go. Thank you, East. We thank the South, the time of the summer solstice, the element of fire. Thank you for your guidance, your wisdom. Thank you for your energy, your vitality, your teachings. And we ask that this fire ceremony is deep within us, that it continues burning away the layers of shame and guilt, embarrassment, so that we automatically, naturally, effortlessly, and easily become more joyful, lighter, brighter in our power. Thank the snake, the skins that we've shed, all that's in the south, we thank you. We thank the west, the element of water, the healing waters of life for washing through us, bringing balance to our emotions and our emotional body. Thank the stag and the doe and little fox for showing us how to come home. Thank Mother Earth underneath us for support, your guidance, all that you provide for us, for the abundance that you filled us with. We thank you, Mother Earth. And Father Sky above us, Grandmother Moon, Grandfather Sun, and all of the angels, archangels, the teachers, the guides from beyond above us, for your protection and guidance from above, your energy and vitality, we thank you. Bring your awareness to your heart and your solar plexus again. Thank your guides. Known and unknown. And then we thank each other. Even as we gather online, we still create a group energy. So we thank each other for showing up. So thank you. Thank you, summer solstice. Thank you all. Thank you, inner child. Thank you, solar plexus. Thank you, heart. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Hope you all have a wonderful next couple of days. Enjoy the rest of the summer solstice. I'll send this around as soon as I have it ready, and hope to see you all soon. Taking a break for most of July and all of August. So no more Soul Seekers until at least September. But I'll be in touch, and I'll still be doing the podcast anyway. So I'll be doing lots of stuff around that. But yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you so much for everything, and take care of yourselves. Bye.
Thank you. Take care of yourself too.
Sorry, yeah, thank you. Well, Reiki Sharon Sunday if anybody wants to come, and Full Moon Circle Sunday week.
Oh yeah, the Reiki.
There. Brilliant. See some of you there. And yeah. Bye. Bye.